evening, everyone. It is your girl, Marcie Thomas, and I am so excited to be here with you for what is actually the last episode of Live Well Sister for the year. Can you believe it? We are in the last month of the year, really about, let me see, it's the 11th. We got 20 more days in 2024. That is so hard to believe. As always, my grandfather used to say, 1 to 21 are the longest years of your life, and then everything after that just flies by. And this year definitely has proven that. So I am so excited to have you here for a conversation that's really going to help us to get inspired and motivated as we prepare to move into a new year, because who knows that, it's going to be challenges. We already know that just because it's life, and then other things that we don't want to talk about right now, but we just want to make sure that we are geared up and ready to pursue our purpose and really start out on the right foot. So I have the perfect guest that's going to help us to do that, and I can't wait for you to meet her and learn some things about what it means to live your best life and to thrive. So our special guest for the evening is Teri Donelson, affectionately known as your purpose pusher. She trains aspiring entrepreneurs to clarify their vision, overcome limiting beliefs, and create strategic action plans to start and scale their businesses and live a life on purpose. Because some people may not have businesses, but we all want to live our lives on purpose. She is the CEO of Purpose Chasing Academy, which is a global company that empowers women to create the best version of themselves and become purposeful in their lives. She is also the co-founder of Xtreme Hip Hop, a global fitness company. You all may have seen some of those posts online of that really powerful of stepping. She is a co-founder of that company, Xtreme Hip Hop. And she just really is a wonderful person to talk to us about purpose, about dreams, about staying motivated, and all those sorts of things. She's originally from Texas and is currently living in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. So there's so much more that I could say about Terí, but I want to give her a chance to tell her own story in her own words. So without any further delay, let's welcome Teri Donelson to the Live Well Sister. I was about to say BGC Book Club. Live Well Sister. That's not when you got too many brands, right? But thank you for being here.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here today.
Yes, I am so excited to have you here. And thank you for coming in and really being here to motivate us, to help us get our minds right as we prepare to go into a new year. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, yes. So, of course, I gave a little bit of your background because I wanted to give you a chance to, to speak to us and just tell us about who you are. So, Terí, just give us a little background about who you are and how you just got started in life and some of the things that have led you to where you are today.
Oh, goodness. That question is so funny to me because, to sum everything up to how did I get here is just a book of its own. Right. But I'm originally, I'm a small town girl from New Waverly, Texas. And I have just been living now. I think I really start to live around 36 years old. Okay. My mom, I'm one of 8. I don't know if I said that already, but I'm one of 8. My mom's a single parent. And her philosophy was to get a job, go to school, make money so that you don't live kind of the same type of way that she lived, like Paul robbing Peter. I don't know if you ever heard the expression.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
So that was my whole mindset. That was pretty much my family's mindset. So although we love people, we love caring about people, your whole thought process was, how can I make money? So I spent my life chasing the paper. And that's one reason why my philosophy is to not chase the paper, but really to chase your purpose. Mm-hmm. And so when I lost my job in, was that 2019? No. I'm jumping way ahead. 2011. It was after my daughter was born. I lost my job, my good paying job, working in a nonprofit environment. I had become depressed. I gained a ton of weight. Now, I will say I've always been fluffy. I don't like to use the word fat. Okay. I was fluffy. Right. And so in my fluffy stage, after I had my 2 kids, I just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I eventually got up to about 283. Now, you
Mm-hmm.
can't tell from here, but I'm only 5'3.5".
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Keep my half. Don't take my half away.
Okay.
So I had lost, I had gained all that weight, and combined with losing my job, getting all that weight, being a mom, being away from home, away from my family, and I became depressed and didn't even know what that meant. Didn't even know how that looked, because I was still out here being that good mama, going to church. I was a good church lady. I was still being a wife. So I was still active in my mind. Depression was sitting in your house with the shades drawn down, and that was depression.
Right.
So I didn't understand it. And so it wasn't until I started to realize I had to figure out what I could change. What
Mm-hmm.
could I actually take control of? And it was my health. And so
Mm-hmm.
that was the first step in me on this new direction of my life. And really, it was me pivoting back to my purpose. So
I
that's a
love that.
short version.
I love that. I love that. And thank you for that. Because I know that's kind of how do you tell a whole life in 5 minutes or
Yes,
less, right?
yes.
Right. But I just wanted to because, I want to dive in a little deeper to some of the things that you said. But that is just something, because what you're talking about is common for so many of us. It's like we're out here and we are told, we just want to get out here. And, I was listening to part of one of your speeches. It's like, go to college, get a good job, get a husband, have some kids. I mean, as women, that's a lot of what we're told. But, understanding that may or may not align with your purpose.
Absolutely.
And so just understanding that, and, watching and knowing some of the things that you have done to really tap into what that purpose is. I do have a question for you, though, about growing up in a small town in Texas with 8 siblings. Where do you fall in there?
I'm the third, but if you ask my siblings, they would tell you I act like I'm the oldest.
Okay.
I'm the third. And the way my family is broken up, it was my brother and my older sister they were right by each other, 1 year apart. And then I came 5 years later, and I was the first kid after 5 years. So I was very much spoiled. And then my sister came 2.5 years later. Then my brother came 2.5 years later, and it was no more kids. We thought my mom was done.
Right.
So it's like these 3 sections of kids, because my older brothers and sisters, they went away. Then it was us 3. And then later on in life, she had my twin sisters and my brother.
Oh, wow.
So it's a very unique family, and my mom was the only child. That makes it even more
wow.
unique. So we didn't have uncles, we didn't have like cousins. So our family is very much still a close-knit family, because it was just us all the time. My mama said, you crying about some friends, go in your room, go in that room and go play with one of your siblings, them your friends. So
right.
Yeah, I'm the third.
Oh, wow. So that means, and where you fell in there, you were like the oldest of that second group.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. So growing up in a small town, as you mentioned, did that make you want to do something bigger than what was in your town? Or is that just something that kind of happened just because of other life changes? Or did you always know that you wanted to do something different?
I have always known that I was meant to do something different. My mom would tell stories all my life that I never met a stranger. She said I would get on the bus, and by the time I got off the bus, I was like, bye. And they was like, bye, Terí, because I was talking to everybody on the bus. And I've been that way since I was younger. And the small town, which I didn't appreciate then, but in that small town, because we moved to New Waverly when I was about in the 4th grade.
Okay.
And so we lived next to another small town. So in Texas is so big.
Right. That's true.
The big cities like Houston, Dallas, those cities. And then there's a bunch of very small towns. So we moved from one small town, one bigger town, which is like 1,200 people, to a town of about 900 people. Ooh. So I grew up in a town of 900 people. And so in that town, I just always felt like everybody knew everything. Everybody was in your business, and you couldn't do nothing because your mama found out about it before you even got home, And so I always knew I wanted to do something different. What was unique is that we had teachers in that town. We had people in that town that even though they didn't want to leave, even though they loved their town, they always encouraged those who wanted something different or they saw something different in people. They encouraged us to do big things. So an example of that is my mom was, raising 8 kids. So we were in low income housing. I was able to attend a program called YOU, which is Youth Opportunity Unlimited. And this was an opportunity for kids who were low income to go to college when they were in the 10th grade, when they were going to 10th grade. So that was my real first experience of the big life. I went to University of Texas for the entire summer. You were able to go to classes. You were able to get a job on the campus. And that was the point where I said, I am going to college. Although my mom went to like a junior college, my grandmother went to college. No one ever finished. And I said I was going to college. I was going to join a sorority because they was all around there. And I was going to find me an alpha male because that's the ones that was around. I thought they were so cute. But that really just it broadened my horizons. So although I went to a small town, I had the best of both worlds. So I don't know. That's a long answer, but
that's great. I love it. I love it.
I'm gonna talk. You got to do me like this.
Oh no, you're good, sis. Because I want you to talk. I want people to know some things about you because it's all in alignment with how you wound up, getting to a place of purpose. So, you mentioned being in a sorority, and you are a Delta Sigma Theta. So
I am.
And all of that. And I'm actually Sigma Gamma Rho. So
okay,
yes, my mama is a Delta, but that's a whole different story for a different day.
We're gonna have to talk.
So we'll talk about that separately. But yes, it's just I think that just shows a lot that oftentimes just exposure to different things. Because oftentimes people are, whether it's in their small town or whether it's a certain neighborhood. I mean, you're in Cleveland, you know that there's different neighborhoods and things like that. Having the opportunity to see or do something that goes beyond what's happening in your little corner of the world really does open up your mind and open up your horizons to what's possible. And I love that. I love that. Yeah. So now you mentioned that, you had gone to college, and well, you didn't say this necessarily, but got married, had children, and then you wound up not working. So was it at that point when you weren't working that you realized that, hey, wait a minute, I've got this gift or I've got this other purpose within me that might be different from what I was doing in my day job?
So no. What happened was, so when I decided that, well, first of all, I always wanted to be the next Oprah.
Okay, got it.
So when I went to college, I really went for mass communications. I wanted to be a sports broadcaster because I'm from Texas. And if you know anything about Texas, you either are in the rodeos and farming or you play football. Mm-hmm. We like football. And so all three of my brothers are really great at football. My oldest brother actually was on a commercial with Warren Moon. He was the best linebackers. My middle brother is a coach right now, but he went to college for he was a quarterback. He went to college for football. Now he's a high school coach. And my baby brother, he was also. So we were a football family. I was a cheerleader, all that good stuff. So I wanted to be a sportscaster so I could interview my brothers. That was my mindset. When I went to college and started interning, I was like, this is not for me. I'm not getting up at the crack of dawn and putting a microphone in somebody's face that's going through a tragedy. Because you couldn't just go into sportscasting back then. You had to do all the journalism stuff. And so I was young. I was just like, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. And so I just did mass communications. So that led me to just to doing AmeriCorps, which is kind of like Peace Corps before America, and allowed me to travel because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do yet. I wasn't grown. I just graduated from college, but I still didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I used AmeriCorps to travel because they paid for your traveling expenses. And so I went to nonprofit because, like I said, at the core, my mom always instilled in us that we're in this world to help others. Exactly. And if you're not making an impact, You know, she was always about she borrowed from Maya Angelou, but she said, you know, people won't remember everything you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. And so I lived
Absolutely.
my life like that. And so I went to the nonprofit field and kind of allowed circumstances to drive the paycheck, the jobs to drive where I was going, right? So I knew for a while I wasn't happy.
That part.
I loved helping people, but because I wasn't happy in what I was doing, I would burn out. I would be drained. I wasn't my authentic or my true self. And so when I lost my job, my mom, because the way I lost it was just, you know, I was on maternity leave and they told me I couldn't come. They couldn't afford to bring me back. After I built an organization up to where it was able to, you know, have different programs, have health care, but you know, God bless it. They're still going strong. But he set me down. And my mom said, you couldn't stand that job. Why are you so upset? You did not like that job. You were more happy when you were making $900 a month with Vista. You were excited about what you were doing. And I thought about that. It still didn't click to me yet that I needed to find my purpose. I wasn't thinking in that lane quite yet. I was thinking, how am I going to support my family? You know, how am I going to be a better example for my kids? You know, how am I not going to be an embarrassment to my family because I was the first to go to college, I was the first to get a house, you know. Now I'm thinking about all those different things that has nothing to do with my purpose. And so when I decided to just focus on what I could, I got a job where, you know, I was making decent money, working with kids, but these kids is different. So I had to hear them get about that position.
Okay.
It was different in the school system. So I said, this ain't for me, Lord, please rise. I need you to take me up out of here. But I started working on my body. And with me working on my body, I met Phil Wheaton, who is the creator of the format of Xtreme Hip Hop, an awesome, amazing guy, just very charismatic, but he didn't know exactly how big this could be.
Yes, it's huge.
It's huge. And so he was just a guy who owned a gym, a very popular gym. He had about 1,000, you know, members at his gym. And as I was losing weight, he brought something out in me where he made me feel like I could do it. Because like I said, I was 283 pounds. And so the way he would encourage and motivate you to don't stop, don't quit, don't give up. I was all like, whatever this dude tell me, you know, I'm doing it. I was doing every class he said because my body was changing. My confidence was getting there. And I started to look at my health differently. So with me doing that, other things opened up for me. And as me and Phil started communicating, I didn't realize what I was doing, but I started to talk to him, started encouraging him like, Phil, you really have something here. You really could do some things. We started talking about his life. What I started to do was to help him find his true purpose.
I love that.
And then to help him to create his vision and give him some steps really on how to get there. And with me doing that, that's how I fell into my purpose of helping others find their purpose
I
and
love
helping
that.
their vision until they realize how awesome they are to start walking in it, if that makes sense.
It
Because
definitely.
Phil had it. He had it. He had the charismatic. He was charismatic. He had the energy. He had the love for people, but he didn't see the greatness in him. And sometimes that's why it's so important to surround yourself with people who see you before you see you.
Oh, I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. People who see you before you see you. I love that. And I know it seems like we're going all the way around, but I'm doing this for a reason because people need to understand that it's not something that you necessarily automatically know immediately. You don't, there are some people who, you know, that from the age of whatever, they know what their purpose in life is. But a lot of us, we fall into it as, you know, as we get older, and there can be like natural gifts or skills or abilities that you have that you just didn't, you know, maybe didn't realize or didn't tap into. And so that's why I wanted you to tell part of that story, because you found your purpose in helping other people find theirs. And I love that. I love that about your story.
Yeah. And I will say what you said was it's so profound because we always know sometimes our purpose, but it doesn't look like we think it should look. So we brush it off. That's not my purpose. I like to give the example of, that's my favorite example of me loving basketball. I loved basketball. I was very good at basketball in high school. I truly loved basketball the way I love helping people. I could figure out a way to stay with basketball. I would just have to package my love for basketball with my skill sets and figure out how I can profit from it if I wanted to. So I could have been I could have stayed in sports casting. I could have been helped out with like training, like the medical training. I could have still stayed within what I love to do, what I'm passionate about. It's just that sometimes, because it doesn't look like the way we think it's supposed to look, we just dismiss it, that that's not my purpose, because that I can't do that way. But there's always a way. If it's it's your assignment, it's what your piece of this puzzle that I call, the world, then you can figure out how to use your skill set with your passion, and it's your purpose. And a lot of times we've been using our skill sets over here, and it doesn't belong over there. That's why you're tired, and that's why you're exhausted, and that's why you're angry at the world, because you're using all this good stuff over here where it doesn't belong. So
where it doesn't belong.
Good point.
So as you work with clients and meet women and things like that, do you find that it's a challenge for many people to figure out what their purpose is?
I do. And I think it's because society tells us what we can't do, and we believe it. Society tells you you're too old to start over. Society tells you don't have a degree in that. And we both know that we know a lot of people with degrees that they do not know how to use them or implement what they've learned. So it's just expensive toilet paper. And so we have like people telling us what we can't do. And so it takes a while. Sometimes when I first started this journey, I started going straight into it and helping people build a business. What I realized is that they didn't know what business they wanted to build. So I had to go back to basics and get them to first, don't think about what you can make money from. Don't go with that. First, understand who you are and what you love to do, what you're passionate about, and make sure that aligns with some skills you have. Now, just because you love it, don't mean you have the skills to make money from it. You make them volunteer, but you can't make money from it. So you have to be honest with yourself. But a lot of times I've had to bring it back to basics just because people thought they knew what they wanted to do. And then once they really got into it, they didn't. One example is one girl I helped. She wanted to own her own gym. She had a great following and she wanted to own her own gym. As we were going through some things, she realized she didn't want to own a gym. She didn't want the responsibility. And that's fine. People think that living your best life means being an entrepreneur. Somebody got to help in the kitchen. The restaurant has to have cooks. They have to have hostess. Find where you fit. And you can be a millionaire when you find where you fit. You can make money from, there are 10-year-old millionaires right now, just on TikTok, just talking and doing stuff. You just need to figure out what you love to do and figure out how to package that thing.
Figure it out. And I find just in different people that I talk to, you have to silence the voices, because a lot of times there are other people trying to tell you what it should be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I like to, and I'll go back to surrounding yourself with people that are on the same level or are on a higher level or understand what you're trying to do. We have people in our lives for different reasons. You need to figure out what box they belong in. But one thing I will say is to never complain down. You always complain up. When you're having issues about stuff, when you complain down, that you don't like your job, that you're not living your purpose, this is not the vision for your life. When you complain down to people, they'll be like, girl, you better stay at that job. Don't you quit that job. You stay on the narrow. You want to retire, don't you? You don't want to, but when you complain up with people who are like-minded, that are ready for that next level, they'll say, think about it this way. Or talk to so-and-so. Or when I went through this, these are the challenges I had. That's the one of the biggest tips I can give people: always complain up. Don't complain down, because those people want you to be down there. They want you to be with them. And it's not negative all the time. It's just some people have a mentality of don't do it, because they're still listening to what they think they're putting you in a box. They're putting your abilities and their abilities on you. So always complain up.
Complain up. I like that. That's a word right there, y'all. Complain up. Complain up. That is something. So we've already talked about it, that fitness has been a part of your journey.
Yes.
And let me see, they have a comment. That's one of my sorors. Hey, the people in the background are making so nice coins. Oh, okay.
Nice coins. Yes, they do.
Yes. Oh, making some coins. Oh, okay, got it. Some nice coins. Okay, got it. But yes, it's like you talk about fitness, and you and I talked about this a little bit before we came on, is that our physical being, as well as our mindset, and all of these things play a factor in how you are able to really even walk in your purpose. Yes. Once you have, done the work to figure out what that is. And, it's not about being a certain size or anything about like that, but there's a certain level of energy that you have to really be able to pursue purpose. So talk a little bit about that.
Just excellent question. And I tell people all the time, and it's so funny because when I first started speaking, one of my signature speeches, I tell them the story about me driving in the cold, freezing cold, to go get Krispy Kreme donuts. I would wait until that red light turned on. I don't know if you understand the red light. Yeah. Donuts was coming out, and I would wait there until that light comes on. I would go in that line, order a dozen lemon-filled donuts. And before I got home, I had engulfed 6 of them. I was like literally killing myself slowly. And so people thought I was a wellness fitness coach because I told that story so well. And I have kept my weight off. I try to say lose weight. I've released over 100 pounds, but I don't want to find it back. I don't want to lose.
That's right.
So I have kept that weight off over 10 years now. And that's one of my proudest moments, but it's not without understanding that it is all mindset when it comes to a wellness lifestyle. It is a lifestyle change. And I know those are catchy terms and people use them loosely, but when I tell you, when I first started, I became obsessed. And I was talking about this with my accountability partner. And we were talking about being obsessed. When I first started with Phil's Gym, I would work out for an hour doing high cardio. I would go lift weights with his twin brother, because Phil has a twin brother, lift weights with his twin brother, and then do another class for an hour. And then I would only eat 900 calories. Exactly. I didn't understand nutrition. I didn't understand fitness. I didn't understand how that tore up my metabolism, how that tore up my muscles. I wasn't really losing weight. I was really losing muscle mass. I was losing nutrition. And I was doing some very unhealthy stuff to come to what society says was healthy or a lifestyle. So I had to really get my mindset right around why I wanted to lose weight, why I wanted to be healthy, why I wanted to stay healthy. Many times people start to eat right when they want to lose weight for a party, for a birthday. Right. Once you start doing stuff and get into that cycle of trying to lose weight for certain things, that's the wrong mindset to have. And so now that I understand that this is just my life. I choose to get up and work out because I have the ability, I have the privilege to. Once I realized that I can't tell anybody to live out your best life when I can barely breathe walking, that I am an example of what I'm trying to preach. Living my best life means having a harmony with my health, my spirituality, with my relationships, and with my business. So when those things are off balance, I lose harmony in my life. So I get up, I make sure I read my Bible. I make sure I get my physical health in. I make sure I check with people that I love, and I make sure I work on my business. Now, sometimes will my kids have priority? Absolutely. But I keep a harmony, not a balance, because nothing's ever going to be balanced, but it's harmony. And so having those 4 different areas in my life in harmony keeps me where I am thriving. And so wellness is just part of my life. I don't look at it as weight loss, or I look at it as having a wellness vision and keeping that in the forefront when I live my life.
All right. I love that. And it is important to balance all those, because I don't know if you saw at the beginning the stuff with Live Well Sister, the tenets that I believe in with that. And I'm a work in progress.
That's
as
right.
we all are a work in progress.
Yeah.
But it is something that, it's the spirit, it's how you're taking care of yourself. It's your relationships. It's your, your purpose. Purpose is one of the words in there, purpose/career. How's your money looking?
That's right.
Are you serving others? Do you have space for fun and good times in your life? So all of those things are a part of it. And so that's why I wanted you to talk about that, because sometimes people might think, oh, this other thing isn't important. Or we hear these things about, this grind culture where people, maybe they're not resting or they're not making time for things that, are good for their bodies, because they're so busy trying to pursue this purpose or make this money or whatever the case may be. And they're neglecting their physical bodies.
Yeah. Yeah. And we will do that. And that's why it's so important. I talk and I give a lot of, I do a lot of talking on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and you have to include rest. I know we was talking about this earlier when we talked last week. You caught me slipping in the bed, because look here, I'm from Texas, and when it snows, I do not want to leave this house for like the first week. It is so cold to me. I still have Texan blood running through. It's not thick enough, and so I realized I blamed it on that, but really I had been really busy. God has been blessing me. I've been very productive. I've had speaking engagements. I've released my first solo book, and I've been doing a lot of coaching. It's just been a lot of things going on that God's been blessing me with. And I think that sometimes when we don't put that in our schedule, he'll put it in your schedule for you. And so I think I needed that time to just reset and relax, because I went on vacation, and we do that quite often. My boyfriend will go cruise for a week. I need a vacation after the cruise. Like, I'm exhausted after the vacation. So you just have to make sure that you are keeping all that in mind, and it's okay to rest. I know like you said, it's the grind nation, and you got to grind and grind. Yeah, grind on that rest too. Don't do that. Yeah. And whatever that means for you, I love getting my feet done, but sometimes that's just maintenance. That's not really rest. Because while I'm sitting there, I'm on the phone, and my nail person will say, put your phone down. And I was like, no, and he was like, no, just put your phone down. Just what you only gonna be here 30 minutes, put your phone down. And sometimes you just need people to remind you, like, it's okay not to have that phone in your hand. Just rest. And spending time with loved ones, and reading a book, whatever rest means for you. And sometimes rest is getting away, because somebody was saying, you're going to do some work while you're on the cruise. I said, absolutely. I don't have any kids around. I don't have anybody asking me for anything. So I'm going to spend this time to kind of reset and think about what I want to do next year. So whatever rest means for you, don't let society tell you what rest is. That's probably the main key. Let society tell us what we need to be doing and how we should be doing it. Yeah. So rest is so important. And I try to take advantage of that all the time, especially now that my kids are teenagers. I try to do it all the time.
That's good. That is good. And it's so important. Now, you mentioned it, and I popped it up there right quick. Extreme Vision.
Yeah.
That is your book. So congratulations
Thank you.
And so I know you do a lot of work with coaching. You do a lot of speaking and things like that. What was it that led you to want to write the book Extreme Vision?
Oh, that's a good question. I haven't gotten asked yet. I think it really was, people were asking me to help them. And when people first started asking me to help them, I admit, I said, no, I can't. I don't have time to do it. But really, I was scared to be vulnerable, to do something I didn't really believe in myself quite yet that I can do for other people what I was doing for Phil. And so once I started the coaching, I was like, oh girl, you good at this. You got a knack for helping people, to either to figure out their purpose, their vision, to clarify their goals, to help them to create a business or scale a business. But you don't have the capacity to help everybody.
Right.
And can we be honest? Everybody can't afford coaches at certain times in their life. So to me, this book is an opportunity for people to have access to me that can't necessarily get into my programs or can't at this time, which I always pray people can find the resources to afford coaches or understand that you are worth the investment.
Right.
A lot of people don't think they're worth the investment.
That part.
But this is a way for them to have access to me. And I had a story that I wanted to tell. So this book was so scary. I will tell you, Pam Perry, who we both know,
Yes.
she was like, what is taking you so long? And I was like, well, it's some tweaks. She was like, put that book out. And I was like, but I want to go back. And she was like, put the book out. And I was like, but I just want to go. And she was like, put the book out.
Yes.
Because she understood, she knew it because she's an author as well. She knows how vulnerable you are because my book is a memoir / guide for people who are trying to pursue their purpose, clarify their visions and have those steps. So there's a lot of things I say in this book that I have not said in my speeches when I talk. So it is a very vulnerable space to be in, but it is a way for people to know me more and not only know me more, but to help them on their journey to find their purpose or to clarify and start to really live and thrive instead of just existing.
I love that. I love that. Yes, and Pam Perry, when you watch this, because I know she will, thank you for putting us together, Terí and I had popped in and left a comment on one of her posts, and she just put your name in there, and then she came in my inbox like, you need to talk to her. So I'm like, okay, Pam says it. I believe it. Dr. Pam Perry, yes.
That's
I have to shout her out.
She's a gem. She's my, I think she reminds me so much of my mom. My mother passed away at 65, and Pam just, and because Pam for a while, and if you put some music on, Pam dancing.
Oh yeah. I remember when she was doing Zumba. She took Zumba.
Yeah, she is a dance machine. Yes. That is my book. Yeah, she helped me to the cover and everything. She was my person. I was like, what picture are you using? Show me your pictures. What's the design? What are you? And I was like, okay, Pam.
Yes.
Okay. But she was a very, very, very great resource to have in your corner.
All right. Now, the word vision, we are at that time of the year. And the reason why I wanted to have you here is that we are at that time of the year when people start thinking about what they want the next year to look like. And, folks are doing vision boards and, just coming up with all these different things to really think about what that the next year is going to look like. And as I said at the top of this is that we're doing that, but then we also know that there are those things that we can't control that may be happening in the environment around us and the world around us. But what things do you generally encourage people to do as they're thinking about their vision and casting for the things that they want to see, whether it's in their businesses or personally as well?
First of all, do not wait till December 31st. I don't know why we think there's going to be a magical wand that's going to make everything come true December 31st, but you are behind in your goals for 2025. Start now. And what I like to do, and one of the things that I do is called a purposeful brunch. And that's where we get together and think about our goals for the upcoming year in December. I think that it's such a good time of the year to just reflect on what went well, what didn't in those 4 categories in your life. So just a simple suggestion is to grab 4 pieces of paper. I love the computers. I love technology, but I'm a pen to paper type of gal. So I'm saying go get a notebook, write down on the top of the first sheet, personal or relationships. The second sheet, write spiritual. The third sheet, write wellness. The fourth sheet, write business. And think about each of those areas, what went well this week. I mean, this year, 2024. Think about what goals did you have December 2023 that you didn't even touch. And then I would write down, I would go a little further and write down why. And be very honest. Why didn't you not even start? If you started, why didn't you finish? If you didn't get to where you thought you were going to go, what were the obstacles? So I would write down those three things as you go through what went not so well or what went well in 2024 in those four categories. And then write down one goal that you want to accomplish in the first quarter of the year to get towards the goal. Quit with these big grando, putting pressure on yourselves to make $1 million in 3 weeks. Like just, I mean, yes, it can happen. I want to lose 100 pounds in 2 days. Yes, it could happen. You just have to, maybe be on drugs. I don't know, but stop pressuring yourself. Stop putting all this pressure on yourself. Even if you have that huge goal, work backwards and put some smaller goals with it so that you're not so stressed. Someone once told me, and I don't want to know who told me because I've had so many, people in my life that I listen to. Be coachable. And they say your goal should stretch you and not stress you.
Stretch you and not stress you. I love that.
Yes, because if your goal is stressing you out, what's going to happen? You're going to eventually just shut down. And procrastination sometimes look like laziness, and procrastination and laziness sometimes looks alike because we're overwhelmed. And when we're overwhelmed, we just stop. Because we either don't know like where to start, who to talk to, where to go. I'm getting frustrated because it's not working out. Everything I'm doing is just not happening. So I'm just going to stop and I'm going to go over here and start doing something else. That's probably because this goal that you made, it wasn't a goal that was realistic where you are right now. Maybe you have to go back and get some coaching. Maybe you have to go back and get some different skills. Maybe you have to go back and get your funds together. Maybe you have to go back and understand why you're doing it, making sure it's even something you want to do for the right reasons. Like there's a lot of reasons, but if you're making these huge goals based on the wrong thing, more than likely it's not going to happen and you're going to get frustrated and you're just going to quit. So those are some suggestions that I would give someone that's trying to think about how to start their 2025. But the main thing is to start tomorrow because it's late tonight. So start tomorrow.
I don't have it in here. I have, like if you go to a meeting, they have those things where you can write on, like tear the sheets off and stick them on the wall. Yes. I have some of those. I have one that's like a portable one in my apartment, and I've been doing that already, writing stuff out and thinking about the things that I want to do for the next year and, the next year and beyond, but also to your point, breaking those things down into sizable chunks. Because I think that's the thing that gets people in trouble. When you're saying, like you said, I'm going to make $1 million in the next 6 months. Like, unless you have,
stock market, I don't know.
Probably the average person, probably not.
Yeah.
Not to say it's not possible, but for the average person, it's not. And then so when you only made, $500 in the next 6 months, then you're going, you're likely to quit and give up. Really, just thinking about that, Terí, it goes back to purpose, though. Yeah. Because why are you doing you're doing? Yeah. Are you doing it because one of the things you said, are you chasing your purpose? Or are you chasing the paper?
That's right. And that's the bottom line, because to me, if you are chasing your purpose, you're constantly, because you understand your why, you understand your vision. When you're chasing that, you're all ever changing, trying to make yourself better for whatever reason. Like for me, I truly want to see my people win. I see, and I work mostly with women. I do, of course, you have men that come in, but what I noticed is that there was tons of women who were in the fitness arena, but they were not in leadership roles. And I'm like, why? And it was really because they didn't understand the game. They understand the steps, and they have confidence in themselves that they could be a big name. And so that's really the reason why I started. And And I want my girls, I have 2 girls, I want them to see that you can do and be whatever you want to be as long as it's truly what you want to do. And so I'm a firm believer that you don't have to go to college to be successful.
Absolutely
You need
not.
to have a plan. You need to have a plan. You just can't be out here living off of me. You got to have a plan. But yeah, and so you have to understand your why. You have to definitely, and you have to always revisit the why. A lot of times people have their vision, they write it down. And I love vision boards. People don't come at me when I say this. Just don't put that vision board. Don't make all pretty. You got glitter, you got all this other stuff, and just stick it on your wall. That vision board don't get looked at till December 25th, 26th, and you're like, oh, I did want that Range Rover. You ain't did nothing to get that Range Rover. You just put different stuff on a board. You need to take that stuff off of that board and write down the steps that you need to take in order to get to that vision. A vision board is very pretty. I will give y'all that. But a vision board without some strategic action steps is just a dream. And the richest place in this world is the graveyard, because so many people go to their grave with their dreams. You have got to stop just putting stuff on your wall and start putting down some action steps and then putting some execution behind those steps.
It's so funny that you say that, because I have not done an actual vision board in a year. It's more like what I was talking about, those tear-off sheets. And, I do like to put things in a journal, stuff like that. I haven't done a board in a while, but years ago, actually it was when I lived in Detroit, I had a board. That board, it was like 5 boards. Oh, all this stuff on it. Beautiful. Like it was like art, like a collage.
It'd be beautiful.
It took up a wall in my apartment. And when I think about it, did I do any of that stuff? Like, not really. But it was nice to look at, and see all these words that inspired me and those sorts of things. But I really did not do those things then. But I tell you what, a lot of that stuff is really starting to happen now, because it was on that board and it didn't, wasn't, really whatever it is. But in the last, several years, I've been doing work and putting in work.
Yes.
And that makes the difference.
Yes.
And seeing some of those things start to actually come to fruition. It might have been on a board, a crazy big board, 20 years ago.
That's right. Mm-hmm. But I get it. And I love vision boards. And I think that visualization, when I talk about that too, is good for you to have, that car that you want. But the key, like you said, is to write down, how am I going to get to it? Just don't put that picture up there. Start working on, how can I get it? Because you can. And I think sometimes we do these vision boards and they're like, it's not touchable. It's not something that I can actually obtain. I'm just going with the flow and putting all my wildest dreams. No, these dreams can be reality, but you have to do the work. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody. Right. Nobody. You have to put in your own work, and you can't get mad at people for not giving you stuff. As much as we complain about America and we got all this stuff going on right now, this is the only country that you can make some stuff happen if you truly want to. You can't blame nobody else. It's too many examples of getting it. So you can't give it all to them. You got to put the work in, and nobody's coming to save you. You got to save yourself and start putting in the work.
Putting in the work. I love that. And, you touched on it a little bit earlier, realizing that it's not necessarily about what you went to school for, if you went to school, whatever the case may be, because you'll look at the things that you're doing. It's not necessarily what you went to school for.
No.
Me sitting here talking to you, it is not, I did not go to school for journalism, or broadcasting or anything like that. I went to school for business. Oh. But I always knew from a young age a little bit about purpose. From a young age, I knew that I wanted to do something that celebrated Black women and supported Black women. So that has been consistent. Yeah. It's just for many years, I was doing other things because it was more about making the money than it was really fulfilling a purpose. And now I'm able to, in this way, and, my day job as well, because I do have one, I'm actually serving the community that I want to serve. So I think that's the other thing. Just if you have a purpose and to not get discouraged.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And it's going to take you keeping your vision in line. Always, like I said, always revisit it. Sometimes you have to tweak it because as we grow older, as we circumstances change, but your purpose, always just revisit that and surround yourself with people that's not going to make you feel bad when you decide to pivot, when you get a new idea. Surround yourself and then always continue to grow. Never feel like you've made it. Like I think that's my philosophy. I never feel like I've made it. Even when right now, Xtreme has over 4,500 instructors worldwide. We are in every state. We're in 18 countries. We're on 5 continents, and I still feel like we can do better. We can grow. Like I'm never satisfied with. I'm satisfied. I have joy, but I always know that we can reach more people. Extremes to me is reaching more people, helping them to get healthy, helping them to live, to enjoy fitness. Because it shouldn't feel like work. And so surrounding yourself with the right people and always always be coachable. Always surround yourself with someone who knows a little bit or a lot more than you.
Right.
Stay in rooms, stay connected, get out of your comfort zone. This year I was intentional, was one of my things that in 2023, I decided to do in 2024 was be intentional about being in different rooms and different spaces of people who don't necessarily look like me, my age, my race, my gender. I've intentionally gotten to spaces that were different. I got uncomfortable because comfortableness does not help you to grow.
That's true.
You have to get uncomfortable to truly grow and to level up. And so those are the things that I would suggest. Make sure that you always revisit your vision. Make sure you surround yourself with people who get it. And you still need those people who just gonna say, "Well, go on, baby, that's nice." Right. One of those people.
Right, exactly.
Not the person that I complained up to. My mom was not. I love my mom to death, but my mama felt like I should stay at that job, and with those benefits. And so, but she was the person that would say, "Well, okay, baby, if you want to, you can, but it was never like I could tell she thought I should just girl, you better go on and get that. You got that degree, you better go on and work that degree. So you need all those people in your life, but she definitely was that. And then always grow, always challenge yourself. So those are 3 things that I would tell people when it comes to staying the course, because it's going to get hard. It's a journey. It's not a straight line. And you're going to have ups and downs. But if you know your purpose, you understand your vision and your purpose, then it's easier to stay grounded. When you don't know, you can waver. You can start chasing this and you start that and you start this hustle and you start that hustle. But if you understand your true purpose and your vision, it's harder to pull you up and place you somewhere else.
I love that. That is so important. And I love the fact that you talk about being intentional. That's a word that I use a lot because my mom would be like, "That's your word, intentional." Like, yep, sure is. And like this year I have been intentional about stepping into certain spaces, whether it's, well, of course I do a lot of book talks and things like that, but I've purposely been going into rooms where I get to meet authors, where I get to, meet bookstore owners, all these sorts of things. I've been really intentional about that because it's a space that I enjoy. I want to continue to grow with my platform and things like that. And it's not always what a lot of times it's who you know. So being in those spaces, definitely has made a difference for me. And, I continue on my list for next year. I got some other goals or, things along that line that are aligned with my purpose and with my vision.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that. Now, speaking of vision, you have a free gift that you want to tell people about.
I do. So if you go to www.visionclaritytips.com, I am gifting you a 7-day challenge that will help you on your journey. If you're just trying to figure out, it's a good way to start your process for getting you ready for 2025. It's really easy. You just have to put in your email, and we will start you off on the journey. You'll get an email every single day for the next 7 days, where you're able to view a challenge, to do something every day to kind of get you started. So this is a perfect time. If you've been asking for a sign, because you know how y'all are, Lord, please give me a sign. I'm gonna fast, I'm gonna pray, and the signs just keep coming, and you just keep ignoring them. This your sign. Go ahead to their website and sign up for the challenge and get started today, and do not wait to December 31st.
Yes, do not wait. And that's why I think, we're 3 weeks out, so we can like do some planning and, figure some things out and, figure out what that goal is and then break it down. Because, I did my research on you because you mentioned, we talked about the book that you have.
Yes.
But you also, I saw that you have some like planners that like go for 3 months.
Yes.
As well. You have to go to teridonelson.com to find all these things.
I really don't have one right here. I think I sold them all, but I plan my life a quarter at a time. Now I stole that from Fast and the Furious, but I do. I plan my life a quarter at a time so I don't become overwhelmed. So I have a calendar that's just for that quarter. I put all the information. You have all kind of stuff, and it tracks your wellness. So you can track that. You can track your relationships. You track your spirituality, like what your relationships you want. With whoever you worship. So it tracks all that so that you can stay focused one quarter at a time.
I love that. I love that. I love that. And I would be remiss in our last couple of minutes. We have been talking about purpose and passion and all of that just in general terms, because everybody that's watching isn't necessarily a business person or looking to start a business or whatever the case may be. But for those people who are entrepreneurs, what are 1 or 2 things that you think that they can think about as they go into 2025, specifically for business owners?
Oh, just for business owners?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're thinking about starting a business, you want to think about where you fit in the niche. So what kind of business do you want to start? And if you know what you want to do and you don't see an example, you be the example. Do not say, well, I've never seen that before. That's a good thing. It's too many copycats. It's too many of the same things. So just originality is great. So start to write down all those things that your ideas, just start writing them down, and then start to look at, after that, then start looking at your surrounding areas and start thinking about where you would fit in that category that you want to do business in. Now, if you already have a business, then start brainstorming on ways that you can expand and reach different audience. Start thinking about different stuff as far as marketing that can help you expand your business, and start really trying to scale that instead of just having to start a business. How can you level it up?
Level up.
It is, just expanding some things or making what you have a little bit better.
I love that. I love that. So thank you for that tip, because I know you are a businesswoman and a lot of the people that you coach are in business. So I would be, not doing my job if I didn't bring that up for those people who might find themselves.
Strategic plan and do a SWOT analysis as well.
Right.
SWOT analysis is something that I love to do, but you can do it not just with business. You can do it in all aspects of your life. So if you don't know what SWOT analysis is, look that up. But start there first.
Right. Perfect. So, of course, you've got a lot of great things going on. I know we are heading into the holidays as we prepare to head into the new year. Are there any particular places or things that you have going on as we go into 2025 where people can, connect with you? I've been doing the book and the free gifts that they can get, but
I ain't mad at you. I love this. I love people who share their platform. So I first just want to say I appreciate you sharing your platform with me so I was able to talk to your people. But yes, start off with that clarity, that vision clarity tip. And that way you become connected to me, and we'll send you out newsletters and things of that nature. But I'm always on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the TikTok. Look at me. That's how, older people say stuff. The TikTok. Yeah, I'm trying to get bridge the gap. And so you can find me on those different platforms as well. I'm finishing out the year. I'm going to do a virtual event where it's the purpose of brunch. I'm doing it virtual this year instead of doing it at a restaurant, so that more people can do it that's not in Cleveland area. So just check me out, stay connected, and you'll see that coming up soon.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. Well, Terí, thank you again for being here. First time, but I'm sure it will not be the last time, because
Yay.
you have some good stuff for us, to help us get clear on our purpose, thinking about our vision and just all these wonderful, and our fitness, because that's important. And that's why I definitely wanted to bring that up, because it's all those things work together for the good, for your good.
That's right. Come on now. Yeah.
All those things work together for your good. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. And I'm going to let you grab some water, whatever the case may be, and then I'm going to come say goodnight to you. So
okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it.
Yes, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, that was such a pleasure to have Terí with us. And yes, again, I'm going to put up that go ahead and get those vision clarity, that go to www.visionclaritytips to help clarify your vision and, goals and things like that for the upcoming year and beyond, of course, because, we might start now and finish it up later, but this is just a way to have you think about it if you've never really thought about what that looks like. And then also, of course, a copy of her book, Xtreme Vision, which you can get if you go to her website, which has been scrolling at the bottom as well. So this is it, everybody, for 2024. I really look forward to seeing you all again in 2025 with more great guests for Live Well Sister. In this space, we are all about, our spirit, our relationships, our wellness, our money, all these wonderful things. So I wish all of you all a great holiday season, and I look forward to seeing you next year. But before that, next week, if you're watching this within the next few days, today is December the 11th. On December the 18th, there will not be a Live Well Sister episode, but it will actually be a bonus episode of BGC Book Club, where I will do a end of year wrap up in terms of books and the best books by Black women over the course of this year, as well as some other highlights of 2024 as we finish out the year. So be on the lookout for that next week. And that will be the official close of Brown Girl Collective's year. So thanks again to everyone for being here. For those who are watching in the replay, I appreciate you as well. And we look forward to seeing you again in 2025. And until then, please, as always, continue to live well. Take good care. Bye-bye.